Good morning. Good morning, cubies and newbies. I am Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. I'm the creator. Yes, I'm proud of myself. Pat me on the back. Thirsty. The ABCube method is two formulas to remember. Formula A is just 4 twists, Formula B is just 8 twists, and you can see that they're mathematical zeros. For every left there's a right, for every up there's a down, so it's a commutator, and that means that you're only moving the pieces that you want to move, and the rest of the cube gets left alone, so so there's no order of operations. It doesn't matter whether this is the first step that you're doing or the last step you're doing, because you're not going to mess up what you don't want to mess up. And it works on every complexity Rubik's Cubes, from the 2x2 through as big as you can hold. And Formula A, Formula B is all you need. Nothing else to remember. Because parities are a lie. Parity is where it looks like there's 2 pieces and only 2 pieces that need to switch. And Formula B will always move 3 pieces around, so if there's ever 1 piece to switch, there's going to be 3 or more. And if it looks like there's only 2 and you can't see the third piece that you can't see is literally the piece that you can't see. It is the slice of the cube that you can't tell whether it's oriented correctly, because there's no absolute center to tell you. So 1/4 turn of the slice that touches your parity, and the parity, poof, has just disappeared and dissolved. And now you can set the remaining pieces the way that you already know how, so you don't need a parity. I don't need pop-up messages distracting me. So, how does it work? All right, every cube has 4 corners, so I start with the corners. So just as to demonstrate that I'm treating every cube the exact same way. I start with yellow because every cube has yellow on it. Not every cube has the white. Some white. This one doesn't. For example, the void cube. There are non-standardized colored cubes, but as far as I can tell, most of them have yellow. So yellow works for me. So first 4 corners. So every cube has 8 corners. You find a corner that has the yellow, and we're going to make the rest of the cube match it. This one's already solved. So let me mess it up and demonstrate. Alright. And scrambling the cube is the hardest part, because you'll always see patterns. Okay. Alright. So I find a corner that's yellow, and I select it. This is the corner that I've selected. This corner is now correct, and I'm going to make the rest of the rest of the cube match it. And whether I'm working with a 2x2, a 3x4, whatever size complexity, if it's an n by n by n, this method works. So I'll hold the cube in my hands, and look at the face front of it as if I'm looking at a spreadsheet with rows and columns, and the arrows represent the slice, the row or column that I'm moving, and the black line represents the rest of the cube. So since the first thing to do is since I'm working on yellow, I ignore everything but the corners, which is easy to do on a 2x2, but I ignore everything but the corners, and I want to bring the yellow side of the corner to the top face. So this one's correct, and so I look at the corner under my right thumb, and of the 3 colors that are there, is one of them yellow? And if the answer is yes, Formula A will bring it to the top. And if the answer is no, I look at the corner underneath and see if there's a yellow in one of these 2 spots. If there's a yellow, for my active color, in one of these 2 spots, that will bring it to the top. If there's no yellow in any of these corners, then I rotate the bottom row, only the bottom row. I keep the cube stable 1/4 turn until the answer is yes, because by nature of the cube, there's going to be 4 yellow corners. So as long as there's a yellow in one of these 2 spots, Formula A is going to bring it to the top. Formula A is 1 row and 1 column, and it's going to switch these two around. And so the first thing I need to do is move this piece away from the action, and then I move the space down. I move the cube into the space, QB, and then the space in the QB back up again. And then I look and see, is my yellow on top? If the answer is yes, then I'm going to slide the top and keep going with the next corner here. If the answer is no, then I'm going to keep going with formula A. So because formula A is going to switch these and twist them as they go along. So bottom row, right column, bottom row, right column. Keep going until the yellow's on top. So out, down, in, up. When the yellow's on top, we're only looking at the yellow, we're ignoring the rest of the colors. Then I slide the top row to move it out of the way, and I keep going with my formula A on the next corner. Again, is there a yellow in this corner? No. Is there a yellow below it? No. Rotate the bottom by 1/4 turns until the answer is yes. As long as there's a yellow in one of these two spaces, then out, down, in, up, we'll bring it to the top. Slide it out, slide it away to protect it, and then one more yellow here or here, out, down, in, up, down, in, up. And when the yellow is on top on all 4 corners, that's the first step. And I've already done that on these ones, so I'm going to catch up. Catch up here. Okay, so now that our yellow is on top on all 4 sides, all 4 corners, then I look at the other corners, other colors of that corner. And at this point in time, one of 3 things has to occur. Either all of the sides are going to match to each other, or none of them are going to match to each other, or one of them will match. Those are the only 3 options that you have. You cannot have 2 sides that match without having all of the 4 sides match, unless you've been peeling out stickers, and that's not recommended. So, if no side matches, it doesn't matter which way you hold the cube to proceed, but if one side matches, you're going to face the matching side away from you, as if it's headlights of a car that you're driving away in. So, A brought the corner to the top. B is going to move 3 pieces around. So, top row, 2 columns. You didn't know what this is. So, slide up, slide down. And it looks like, oh no, I've messed up my colors. No, you haven't, because there's still, all we did was move 3 pieces around, and we know that formula A will bring the yellow back to the top. So we're going to go right into formula A and bring our yellow back to the top. When it's on top, slide the top and keep going. And because one side matched when we started, now all of the sides will match to each other. If none of them had matched when we started, we would end up with one side that matches, which would mean that we would know which way to hold it. But no more than, So, A and B. So now our yellows are correct. I think I lagged for you guys. I got a message on my computer saying that it was lagging. So I'm back. Is you guys still here? Anybody still here? Or did I drop you? Hi guys. No, okay. So first 4 corners are done. And now we're going to abandon those first 4 corners and work on the second 4 corners. The reason why we can abandon them is because we know that formula A and B is not going to mess them up. So we're going to trust that they're going to take care of themselves. So the yellow is face down, and now we're going to work on the whites. I'm going to move to this cube because I want to demonstrate that they're all the same. So is there a white? First of all, you have to know what the color is opposite yellow. On standardized cubes, it's going to be white, but not all cubes are standardized. So you have to look at the top 4 corners and see what color they have in common. And if it's hard to tell, it's not going to be a color that touches the yellows. So it's not going to be red or blue or orange or green. So it is, of course, white. And if we have a white on top, we'll keep it there, but the rest of the ones we're going to move. So let's just keep this one here, and let's work on this corner to begin with. So the difference between the first 4 and the last 4 is I don't have to look and see if the white's there because I've already established that it is. So is the white on top? If the answer is yes, then I start in a different spot. But the answer is no, so I'm going to, so this is the corner I'm going to start working with. So it's 1 row, bottom row, right column, and these two are going to swap places. So I move this piece out, the space down, the piece in, and the piece in the space back up again. Is my white on top? Not yet. It's going to be multiple of 2 for the second one. Is my white on top? Yes. So I slide. I don't rotate the cube because if I did, my yellows would get messed up. We don't want that to happen. So I hold the cube stable and just move this piece out of the way so I can work with another piece. Now, is the white on top here? Yeah. So we're going to move that one out of the way too. And so we're going to finish our formula A with this one to bring this white to the top. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And when the whites are on top again, you can check the yellows, and the yellows will have danced around, but they will have resolved themselves because formula A doesn't mess up the bottom part of it. It only moves the pieces you want to move. So white's on top. Let's do that for this one. Okay. Yellow's face down. This one's on top, so this one's on top. We'll start here. So out, out, in, up, out, down, in, up. White's on top. Hold the cube stable, but move that top row out of the way, and continue with this one. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Keep going. And when the white's on top again, then we can look at the yellows and see that they're still happy. If we look at it any time in the middle of that formula A setup, they'll look scrambled, which is a fun way to get more practice in. But so white's on top, yellow's still happy, whites are on top. We haven't checked this side colors yet. Did I do? I already did that. Okay. All right. So whites are on top, the yellows are still happy. The next thing to do is check the other sides of the corners and see if they match. Again, either none of them will match, all of them will match, or one of them will match. If none of them matches, it doesn't matter which way we hold it. If all of them matches, we just move on to the next step. But so orange does not equal green, red does not equal orange, green does not equal red, but blue equals blue. So face the cube, hold the cube with the matching facing away from you. And we're going to do formula B. Slide up, slide down, slide down. And that did not change, that did not alter our yellows because formula B only moves these 3 pieces around. The rest of the cube stays the same. So then we go right into formula A to bring our active color back to the top. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Slide the top, keep going with this one. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Slide the top, keep going with this one. Out, down, in, up. And when the white is on top on all 4 corners again, then you can check your yellows and see that they're still happy. All that's left is so the first 4 corners are correct to each other, the second 4 corners are correct to each other. All you gotta do is move the top row until the top and bottom are correct to each other, and boom, the corners are done. Let's do that with this one. Green does not equal red, blue does not equal green, red does not equal blue, but orange equals orange, so orange faces away. Slide up, slide down, slide down. Formula A to bring our white back to the top. Slide the top to keep the cube stable. Slide the top, keep the cube stable. And second 4 corners are correct, first 4 corners are correct. Rotate the top to match the bottom, and boom. Now this is not, this is a newbie method. This is not a speed solving method, and it is not a fewest moves method. The faster you want to go, the more efficient you want to be, the more complex the algorithms get, and the more you have to memorize, and you have to memorize which algorithm does. You have to memorize the algorithm. You have to memorize what that algorithm does, and then you have to memorize in which order to use the algorithms, because you don't want to this one's going to mess up these things, so you want to do this one before that, etc. Blah blah blah. For this ABCube method, none of that matters, because A and B is only going to move the 3 pieces that you want to move, and it's not going to mess up anything else, whether it's the first step you're doing or the last step you're doing. So corners are done on all. And for me, you can go layer by layer, you can do whatever way you want, but for me, I do the corners first, and then the corners are now dictating. Well, some people, probably when the screen, you guys can all see and hear me, right? Because I'm a little nervous because I had the lagging message before. So someone just dropped me a hi, so I know that you guys are hearing me. Would you guys do that for me? All right, well, I'm just going to assume you'll hear that. All right, so I've been training my eyes to look for yellow and white, and so I'm going to keep looking for yellow and white. So I'm going to hold the cube so that yellow and white are left and right. And then I'm going to look in the middle for anything that happens to have a yellow or white on it, because that's the piece I'm going to move next. Okay, so here is a white piece with blue. Okay, yellow and white are left and right, but I want the yellow or white to be on top, so I'm going to flip the cube so yellow and white are still left and right, but the other direction. Then, so this is the piece I'm going to move, and Formula B is going 1 row, 2 columns. Formula B is going to move it from the middle to up to the outside column that I want to work out with. So the first thing I do is I'm going to move the corners together to match the front, and then I determine which direction it's going to go. So it's blue and white, so it's going to go between the blue and white corners, above the blue and white corner or something. Okay, so it's going to go in this direction. Now, I don't have to remember which columns do which. All I have to do is for this to apply B to this piece, it's the top row. My 2 columns are where I want it to land, which is over here, and where it begins, which is right here. So these are my 2 columns. So this column is going to land here. I start by moving it away from the action. I move this piece up. I move it back into place, and that's my second up. Continue with the same motion for first down and second down, and there it's placed. You can see that for every left there's a right, for every up there's a down, so it's mathematical 0. So this one's placed, yay! Now, keeping yellow and white left and right, I look for another yellow or white. And here's one. Okay, corners match the front. It's going in this direction, so away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down, and it's placed where it wants to be. Huzzah! Keep the corners correct to each other as we move things around, so that's good. I don't see any more yellow. Oh, there's a yellow. I'm going to keep doing this for as long as there's a yellow or white in the middle, and then I'm going to check the sides to see how they're doing, the opposite edges to see how they're doing. So corners match the front. It's going in this direction. So this is my top row, first column, second column. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And there it is. Here's another yellow. I'm going to use any. This is just lather, rinse, repeat. Yellow's on top. Yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. Out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. And there it is placed. And oh, look at that. I checked to see if the sides are opposite edges are matched, and it happens to be that it's all the way solved. So I don't have to move to the next step because it's done. So let's do that with this one. Again, we're just working with the opposite edges. Yellow and white are left and right. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Okay, so yellow and white are left and right. Here's a corner. Here's an edge piece that has a yellow on it. I bring the corners to match the front. It's going in the yellow direction. So top row, first column, second column. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And there it is. Here's another one. I want the yellow on top, but yellow and white are still left and right. We make the corners match the front. It's going in the yellow direction, so away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. That is placed. And I just keep doing this for as long as there is these ones These ones have matched themselves up, so I'm going to treat them as one because I can. It's going in the white direction, away up, in, up, away down, in, down. Now, in most people, when they're doing the edges, in whatever order they do it, when they're doing the edges, they pair up the edges. So, like for instance, here's a purple and orange. So they will look around the cube and say, where's my other purple and orange? And how can I get these two to be on the same side? And then they look for the piece they want and then they pair it up. I don't do that, so that should save you a couple of milliseconds. I just find a piece that wants to be placed and I throw it in the direction it wants to be, and one at a time, and they pair themselves up. So this piece wants to go over here, so slides up, slide down. And if you just put every piece where it wants to be, they're going to match up. You don't have to spend time pairing them up and then do the reduction method, which I think is a double solve. So corners match the front. It's going in the white direction. So away up, in, up, away, down, in, down. And that one is placed. And here's more. Yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners to match the front. Determine its direction. Out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. And we're going to keep doing that for as long as there's a yellow or white in the middle area. And the more pieces you have to work with, the longer that takes. But the second goal, after you get in the corners, the second goal is to get the opposite edges done. So the yellow and white edges done. So I will continue that on this one and work on that one tomorrow. So corners match the front. It's going in the white and yellow direction. Out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. So I call formula A out, down, and up. I call formula B up, up, down, down, because I kind of my muscle memory just does the left and right. So white's on top, corners match the front. It's going in the white direction. Okay. And this one's going to want to move out eventually, so if I want to, I can treat these as one and make that one go out right now to save myself time later on. So I will. But first I'm going to look and see if right. Okay, well, I thought that maybe, okay. All right, so slide up, slide down, and that one is placed. Looking more for white or yellow. Active color on top, bring the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. And one by one, the yellow and white, the opposite edges, get placed. Bring the corners to match the front. And because it's the same motions over and over again, you don't have to wait. Your brain does not have to stop and think, which algorithm do I use here? Because it's always going to be B. Formula A is only used to bring the colors to the top and for the absolute center, and everything else is a B. So it's just always going to be the same. All you got to do is set it, slide up, slide down. Find another yellow or white. Yellow and white are left and right. Bring the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. Slide up, slide down, over and over and over again. Here's another one. Corners to match the front. Determine its direction. Slide up, slide down. Now, sometimes when you can't find any more yellow or white in the middle, you look to see if the sides are correct, and they either will be or they won't be. They will be if they've all been placed correctly, but sometimes there was a piece that was already there that didn't get displaced. So let's assume, let me show you how to handle that. So I have a piece on the side that wants to move out, I'm going to put a garbage piece from the middle into that spot. So I'm going to apply Formula B to something to move this piece. So away, up, in, and then this is the column because I want to display something into that spot. Down, down. And that moves the piece out into the middle where I can then work on it freely. Ta-da! Bum, bum. Corners match the front. Yellow and white are left and right. Determine its direction. Away, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. And we keep going until there's no more yellow or whites. There's one more. Corners match the front. Away, out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. And when we don't see any more yellow or white edges in the middle, we look to see if if the opposite edges are correct. And boom, they are. Haha. And again, if they weren't, I would place the garbage piece into the misplaced piece and work on it from there. So, all right, you guys. Thank you for joining me today. Bring me your non-cuber friends if you wanna. Follow me if you wanna. And I'll be back here tomorrow. Come play with me if you wanna. And bring me your non-cuber. So, all right, you guys. Bye.